Hello viewers and welcome to yet another video on Kcse revision. This is Kcse 2023 paper 2 and these are the critical topics that are covered in this video. Question 17, sequence and series. Question 18, commercial arithmetics involving appreciation and depreciation. Question 19, probability. Question 20, quadratic graphs. Question 21, linear programming. Question 22, loci. Question 23, area under curves. And the last question, 24, vectors 2. Therefore, stick to the video from the beginning to the end, and I believe by the end of this video, you shall have learned a lot as far as Kcse revision for paper 2 is concerned. Question 17. The first term of an arithmetic progression AP is A and the common difference is D. The seventh term of the AP is 11th. The sum of the first 12 terms of the AP is 123. A part 1. Form two simplified equations involving A and D to represent the information. So the first term of an AP is A, the common difference is the seventh term is 11. So the first thing that you need to understand is how do we get the nth term of an AP? How do you get the nth term of an AP? It is given by A plus n minus 1 D. For instance, if you want to write the seventh term, n will be 7. You just need to substitute 7 in place of n. So the seventh term should be A plus n is 7 minus 1, that is n minus 1, then D. So the seventh term is A plus 6D. And you're given the seventh term is 11. So that gives the first equation. The second equation, we get it from here. The sum of the first 12 terms of the AP is 123. So again, how do you get the sum of n terms of an AP given by n divided by 2, then 2a plus n minus 1 D, like that, where n is the position of the term. Now here we have the sum of the first 12 terms, so n will be 12. And then Sn is the sum of the first 12 terms, that will be given by 123. So let's just substitute these. So n over 2 will be 12 divided by 2, then 2a plus n minus 1. N is 12, so it is 12 minus 1. Multiply by D should give 123. Simplify these, you get 6. This is 2a plus 11D is equals to 123. So open the brackets, you get 12a plus 66D is equals to 123. You can simplify this one by dividing everything by 3. Divide everything by 3, and you get 4a plus 22D is equals to 41. So here you have equation 2. Now you have two simplified equations in terms of A and B. The second one is here and the first one is here. Those are the two. Part 2, find the values of A and D. You simply need to take the two equations that you formed in the first part and solve them simultaneously. So you have 11 is equals to A plus 6D. That is the first equation. And the second one, just organize it. You have 4A plus 22D is equals to 123. That is the second equation. So use the elimination method. I will eliminate A. So to make A uniform, I'll multiply the first one by 4 so that I get 4A, and subtract the second one 4A. Multiply the whole of equation 1 by 4. So you get 44 is equals to 4A plus 24. Then the second equation is just multiplying that one by 1. Get 123 is equals to not 123, something wrong here. So this one we simplified, we got 41. So for that we got 41 for these. So we got 41, not 123. So we have 41. The second equation is 41. It is here. So when you subtract these, this is 4a plus 22d. This was 24d, 22d. So the first equation, we've multiplied everything by 4. The second equation, multiplied by 1. So you can see now you can eliminate a. You subtract the 2. 44 minus 41, you get 3 is equals to 24d minus 22d, you get 2d. So from here, you get d as 3 over 2 or 1.5. That is the value of d. Now let's get the value of a. To get the value of a, you simply need to take one of the equation. We'll take these. 11. I'll take 11 is equals to a plus 6d. I already have d. D is 1.5. So just substitute 11 is equals to a plus 6 times d, 1.5. So this will give 11 is equals to a plus 1.5 times 6 is 9. So a is equals to 2. So you have d and you have a.
Part B.
The first, the third, and the eighth terms of the AP form the first 3 consecutive terms of a geometric progression. Calculate 1, the 6th term of the GP. So you have the first, the third. So let us write, this one is for the AP. So the first, the third, and the eighth. We write these. So the first term of an AP is A. The third term, remember how we gave the nth term? Just to remind you, the nth term of an AP is given by A plus n minus 1 D. So if you want to get, for example, the third term, you just substitute n with 3. Okay, so the third term will be A plus 2D. A plus 2D. The eighth term, just take the formula of the nth term, and if you're getting the eighth term, just substitute n with 8. So this will give A plus 7D. So because we already have A and D, we can just write these. A, we got A as 2. Then we know A and D. Then D is 1.5. Just substitute here. So you have 2, like here A is 2 plus 2 times 1.5. So this one will give 5. Then the eighth, A is 2, then plus 7 times 1.5. D is 1.5. You're just substituting. This will give 12.5. So now we have the first, third, and the eighth terms. So the first is 2. The third is that one. So these 3 form the first 3 consecutive terms of a GP. So now for the GP, we have 2 as the first term, 5 as the second term. That is what we mean by consecutive. And then 8th as 12.5, like that. So that is a GP. And you're getting this term from the AP. Now you're required to get the 6th term of the GP. So to do that, we need to know how do we get the nth term? The nth term of, how do you get the nth term? The nth term of any GP. It is given by A raised power, this is AR raised power n minus 1. That is how we get the nth term of a GP. And now if you want to get the 6th, the sixth term, the GP, n will be simply 6. You just substitute n here with 6. So you'll have A, R, then 6 minus 1. And this will give A, R raised to power 5. That is how we get the sixth term. This is the sixth term of the GP. Now what we need to get is A, the first term of the GP, which is here, it is 2. Then we need R. R is the common ratio. How do we get the common ratio? We simply take the ratio of the two consecutive terms. For example, I can consider between 2 and 5. 2 and 5. So using these, to get the ratio, I just take 5 divided by 2. So the common ratio is 2.5. So now we just need to substitute. So the sixth term is therefore A, which is 2, multiplied by R. R is 2.5. Then raised to power 5. As simple as that. And when you do that, this one will give 195.3125. So that is the sixth term of the GP. Let's go to part 2. The sum of the first 6 terms of the GP. How do we get the sum of a number of terms of a GP? There are 2 formulas, and both formulas depend on the common ratio. For example, if the common ratio is greater than 1, we use this formula. A, then R raised to power n minus 1, then R minus 1. This is the formula that you're going to use when the common ratio is greater than 1. What's the common ratio here? We got the common ratio as 2.5. That is greater than 1. Then we have A. And A is 2. So we just need to substitute. So the sum of the 6 terms, so n, because you're getting the sum of the 6 terms, n will be 6. So sum of the first 6 terms will be given by A, which is 2, then common ratio, which is 2.5, raised to power n is 6, then minus 1, then 2.5 minus 1, that is R minus 1. So let us work out the numerator. 2 multiplied by 2.5 raised to power 6 minus 1. That will give 486.28125. That is the numerator. Then the denominator, 2.5 minus 1 is 1.5. And when you divide these, you will get 324.1875. So that is the sum of the first 6 terms of the GP. Question 18. A welfare group invested 75,000 shillings in shares and another 75,000 shillings in a piece of land for a period of 5 years. The shares appreciated in the value at the rate of 6% per annum for a period of 3 years. In the remaining period of 2 years, the shares appreciated in the value at the rate of 4.5% every 6 months. During the 5 years, the piece of land appreciated in the value at a constant annual rate. At the end of the 5th year, the values of the 2 investments are equal. Part A, determine 1, the value of the shares at the end of the 5 years, or at the end of the 5th year. The value of the shares. So the amount that was invested was 75,000. That was the amount. So you're required to get, and we are given the rate of appreciation was for a period of the shares appreciated in value at the rate of 6% per annum for the period of 3 years. So then the next 2 years, the shares appreciated the rate of 4.5%. So let us first get the amount after 3 years. And you're going to use the formula for appreciation. This is what you're going to use. Appreciation, that is the amount is given by, this is the principal amount of shares invested, 1 plus the rate over 100, then everything raised to power, and that is the formula that you're going to use for appreciation. So let us begin by the first 3 years. So the first 3 years. For the first 3 years, to get the amount will be given by the initial amount that was invested, which is 75,000. Then the rate 6%, that is 6 over 100. Then the period is 3 years. This will give us the amount at the end of 3 years. So when you work out these using a calculator, 75,000 into brackets 1 plus 6% raised to power 3, this will give Kenya shillings 89,326 and 20 cents. That is after 3 years. We are done with 3 years, but required to give up to the 5th year. So we're remaining with 2 years. So in the remaining 2 years, the shares appreciated at the rate of 4.5% for every 6 months. So for 2 years, now when you're beginning now, the 2 years, we don't have now 75,000. Remember, there has been an appreciation, and the amount is not now 75,000. It is 89,326 and 20. That will be the principal now as you're beginning in these 2 years. So the new principal now, that is after 3 years, the amount has changed. This is what we are going to have as the principal, 89,326 20 cents. Then 1 plus, using the formula for appreciation still, the rate is 4.5 every 6 months. So it is not given per annum. 4.5%. So 4.5% of 0.5 over 100. Then the appreciation rate is after every 6 months. And you have 2 years. So in 1 year means we will have 2 periods of appreciation, because it is after every 6 months. So for 4 years, we shall, for 2 years, we shall have 4 periods. So for n of the period to be 4. That is very important to note. So when you work out these, you get 106,523 and 16 cents. So that is the amount at the end of the 5th year. So you're done with that. Let's go to the second part. The annual rate of appreciation in the value of the land over the period of 5 years. Now for the land, we know the principal, the same amount was invested, the land, 75,000. And the period is 5 years, so we don't know the rate. But we know the amount. We know the amount. The amount after appreciation of the land. We know it, and we get it from this statement. The last statement here, that at the end of the 5th year, the values of the 2 investments were equal. The investment in the shares, the amount was 106,523.16. It is here. So the same amount applies to the land. So for the land, after 5 years, we have the same amount. So that is what you're going to use. So amount is 106,523.16. So let us get the appreciation of the land. So the amount invested is 75,000. Then 1 plus the rate is what you don't know, that is what you're calculating. Then the period is 5 years, and the amount will be equal the amount you got for the shares, which is 106,523.16. So from here, you just need to make R the subject. So I'll start by dividing both sides by 75,000. Divide both sides by 75,000 like that. And when you do that, you remain with 1 plus R over 100 raised to power 5 is equals to 106,523.16 divided by 75,000. That will give 1.4203088. So from there, you want to get rid of the power 5. So get the fifth root. Get the fifth root of both sides. You get the fifth root of the left hand side, you remain with 1 plus R over 100. When you get the fifth root of 1.4203088, you will get correct 4 significant figures. You get 1.073. So make R the subject, R over 100. Take 1 to the right hand side. You'll have 1.073 minus 1. This will give R over 100 is equals to 0.073. From here, you want to get R, multiply both sides by 100. Multiply both sides by 100. And this will give R as 7.3% as the rate of appreciation for the land. Part B. After the 5th year period, the shares depreciated in value at the rate of 3.5% per annum for n years. The shares lost 10% of their value during this period. Determine the value of n correct to 2 decimal places. So now this one is about depreciation. And for depreciation, we use this formula. So amount is given by the principal amount invested, then 1 minus R over 100 raised to power n. So this is the formula for depreciation. That is the formula we're going to use for depreciation. So this depreciation rate is given as 3.5%. Then, of course, we know the principal amount. The principal amount after 5 years. So after 5 years, it will be 100. We obtained that one as well. The value is the same, 106. 523.16. So it is depreciating now from this amount. So therefore, we require to get n. So therefore, principal, to get depreciation, we take the principal, which is 106,523 once and 0.16. Then 1 minus, the rate is 3.5 over 100. Then raised power, and we don't know the period, is equivalent to, now from this statement, the shares lost 10% of their value during this period, 10%. So let's get 10% of, so 10% of what? So it is 10% of the total value. So if it lost 10%, then what remained was 90%. So what remained was 90%. If you are going to get 90%, that will now be the amount after depreciating. The amount after depreciating will be 90% because it lost 10%. So 90% times 106, 523 and 16 cents. So this one will give, when you work out that, we give 95.87 to 95.870. 0.84. So that is what you get, 95,870.84. Now this is the amount we are going to equate here after losing 10% after depreciation. So 95,870.84. Now with this equation, we can now find n. And now find n using this. Let's find n. So we start by dividing both sides by, so we'll have 1 minus 3.5% is equals to, when you divide both sides by 106, 523.16, we shall have, so this is 95,870.84 divided by 106, like that. So 1 minus 3.5 over 100, that will give 0.965 raised to power n is equals to, when you divide that, you'll get, this will give 0.9. 95,870.84 divided by that, you get 0.9. So how do you get n? Now to get n here, you'll have to introduce logarithms. And this is how you're going to do it. So logarithm of 0.965 raised to power n is equals to logarithm of 0.9. And logarithm of 0.965 raised to power n is the same as n log 0.965 is equals to log of 0.9. So you want to remain with n, divide both sides by log 0.965, logarithm of 0.965. This will give n be logarithm of 0.9 divided by logarithm of 0.965. So when you divide that, you'll get, got to give the answer correct 2 decimal places. This will be 2.96. Yes, correct 2 decimal places. Question 19, part A. A number is selected at random from the numbers 90, 91, 92, 93, and 94. A second number is then selected at random from the numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. Afterwards, a quotient is obtained by dividing the first number selected by the second number. Part 1. Complete the probability space in the following table. So from the statement here, the quotient is obtained by dividing the first number, and the first number is this, the first number, by the second number. The second number is this. So you're supposed to complete this table, and notice the table has been filled with mixed numbers. So ensure that you write your answers when you're filling the table as mixed numbers. Don't change that. So how has it been filled? You simply take from the ones that are filled here. For example, look at these, 93 divided by 2, you get 46.5. That is what has been filled. 93 divided by 3, so the other one is 92 divided by 3, you get 30 and 2/3. Then for this one, you have 91 divided by 4, you get 22 and 3/4. Then 90 divided by 5, you get 18. So we can now begin like this one, 90 divided by 2, we write the answer there. So 90 divided by 2 you get that one as 45. Then you go to the next, 91 divided by 2. Write the answer here. 91 divided by 2. That one will give 45 and a half. Then the next is 92 divided by 2. Write the answer here. That will be 46. Then the next is 94 divided by 2. You write the answer here. It will be 47. Go to the second row. 90 divided by 3. You write the answer here. It will be 30. Then the next is 91 divided by 3. We put the answer here. To be 30 and a third. The next, 93 divided by 3. We write the answer here. That would be 31. Lastly, 94 divided by 3. You write the answer here to be 31 and a third. We go to the third row. 90 divided by 4. The answer here will be 22 and a half. Then the next, 91, that one is filled, divided by 4. It is filled there, so we got 92 divided by 4. Put the answer here. That would be 23. (93) divided by 4. We write the answer here to be 23 and a quarter. Then lastly, 94 divided by 4. Write the answer here, 23 and a half. The last row, 90 divided by 5, you get 18. So 91 divided by 5 would be 18 and a fifth. Then the next, 92 divided by 5, we write the answer here. That would be 18 and 2/5. Then the next is 93 divided by 5. Write the answer there. 18 and 3/5. And then lastly, 94 divided by 5. Write the answer there. 18 and 4/5. So that is all for part 1. Go to the next part. Part 2. Determine the probability that the quotient obtained is a whole number. The probability that the quotient obtained is a whole number. So let us check for the whole numbers. The whole number, that is 1 whole number. This 2 is 3. There is 4. There is 5. There is 6. And there is 7. So the probability will be 7 divided by the total outcomes. Total outcomes, you just count all the values here. All these are the outcomes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So out of all the outcomes, which are 20. Then part 2, determine the probability that the quotient obtained is a recurring decimal. Recurring decimal. So let's identify the recurring decimals. So the first recurring decimal is here, 30 and a third. Then there is 30 and 2/3. Then 31 and a third. And I think those are the only recurring decimals. So there are three. So we have these 30 and a third, that 1 and a third, and 30 and 2/3. So there are 3. So therefore the probability is 3 out of the total outcomes, which is 20. We go to part B of the question. In a shooting practice, the probability that a soldier will hit the target in his first attempt is 60%. This probability increases by 10% in the second attempt. The soldier shoots at the target twice. Determine the probability that 1. The soldier will miss the target only once. Then the second part, the soldier will miss the target in both attempts. So go to the first one. In the shooting practice, the probability that soldier will hit the target in the first attempt is 60. But in the second attempt, the probability increases by 10%. So can you use the tree diagram? The soldier shoots at the target twice. So we'll have tree diagram with 2 branches. So that is the first, that is hitting the target and missing the target. And it is twice. So we shall have 2 branches. This is the second attempt, hitting, not hitting the target. Here we have hitting the target, not hitting the target. So the probability that in the first attempt, this is the first attempt, and the second attempt is the second branch here. Target is 60%, and 60% is 60 divided by 100. So missing the target will be 40%, 40 over 100. But in the second attempt, the probability of hitting the target increases by 10%. So how do we get that? It increases by 10%. So there are 2 ways of doing this. So if it increases by 10%, you can get, what is that increase? 10%, 10%, which is 10 over 100, times 60%. So we see what is the increase in the percentage. And this will give an increase of 6%. So therefore, in the second attempt, it will not be 60. It will be, the increase is 6%. So you have to add 60 so that you get 66%. So that is the second attempt. So here we shall have 66 over 100. Another method you can use is by taking 60% to be 100. That is 100%. So we take 60% to be 100%. Then after an increase of 10%, it will not be 100%, to be 110%. So if 60% represents 100%, after the increase, which is 110%, what percentage will it be? So you just cross multiply, you will get 110 times 60 divided by 100. And this one will give you 66%. So those are the 2 ways of doing it. So if the second attempt 66%, then missing the target in the second attempt will be 34%. So here we have 66%. This will be 34%. So the probability the soldier will miss the target only once. So let me complete this. This is the first attempt, hitting in both attempts, then hitting, then the second attempt missing. Here, missing the first attempt, the second attempt hitting. Then the last one is missing in both attempts. So missing the target only once will be obtained from missing only once. It is either this or this, missing only once. That is why he misses once and hits once. So therefore, this will be the probability of hitting then missing, or the probability of missing then hitting. So working out these, you'll get, so you're picking these. So you're picking these. So 60% times 34. This is what you're picking, 60% times 34. Times 34%. Or you add this one. Or this one, 40% times 66%. Times 66%. Like that. So working out these, this will give 60% times 34%. Simplify, this will give you 51 divided by 250. Then 40% times 66%, this will give you 33 divided by 125. Then you add the 51 over 250 plus 33 divided by 125. This will give 117 divided by 250. That is the solution. The second part, the soldier will miss the target in both attempts. Missing in both attempts. Missing in both attempts means the probability of not hitting. That is what we mean. So we are getting that from here. This is where he misses in both attempts. So that would be given by 40% times 34%. And this one, when you work it out and simplify, you get 17 divided by 125. Question 20. A. The table below shows the values of x and some values of y for the curve y is equals to 14 plus 10x minus 8x squared minus 4x cubed. Complete the table. So let us do this using a calculator. So the function you're supposed to use is this. So for negative 2.5, just take the function. So we have 14 plus 10x. So 10x is negative 2.5. So put negative 2.5. Then minus 8x squared minus 8. Then x is negative 2.5 and square that. Then minus 4x cubed. 4x is negative 2.5. Then you get the cube of that. And okay, that will give 1.5. So that is 1.5. Do the same for the other. The other one is negative. When x is negative 1.5, use the function, this function. So 14 plus 10, x is negative 1.5 minus 8x cubed, 8x squared. 8, x is negative 1.5. We square that. Then minus 4, x is negative 1.5 cubed. That gives negative 5.5. We're here, negative 0.5. Do the same. 14 plus 10. Place of x, we have negative 0.5 minus 8. Negative 0.5 squared. Then minus 4. Negative 0.5 cubed. That gives 7.5. We are here 0.5. So we have 14 plus 10 to brackets 0.5 minus 8, 0.5 squared minus 4, 0.5 cubed. That gives 16.5. Then the last one is 1.5. So you have 14 plus, so you have 14 plus 10 of 1.5 minus 8, 1.5 squared minus 4, 1.5 cubed. So this will give negative 2.5. So we fill the table. Let's go to part B. So for part B, on the grid provided, draw the graph of y is equals 14 plus 10x minus 8x squared minus 4x cubed for this range given here. Then you're given the scale, 1 centimeter to represent 0.5 units on the x-axis and 2 centimeters to represent 5 units on the y-axis. So let us do that. So 1 centimeter to represent 0.5 on the x-axis. So you need to be very keen here when you're drawing these. Ensure you use the scale that is given. So let us plot. The first point is negative 2.5, 1.5. So negative 2.5. It is good to know the x-axis, the size of one small square is 0.1. For the y-axis, one small square is 0.5. So you're plotting the first one, negative 2.5, 1.5. So negative 2.5 is here. Then 1.5 in the y-axis is 1. 1.5 will be here. So this is the point here. So negative 2.5, 1.5 is here. Negative 2, negative 6 should be here. So this is the point. Then the next one is negative 1.5, negative 5.5. Negative 1.5 is here. Negative 5.5. So this is negative 5. Negative 5.5 is here. Understand the scale. On the y-axis, the size of one small square is 0.5. The next one is negative 1, 0. Negative 1, 0 will be there. So negative 0.5, 7.5. 7.5 is here. Is there. 0, 14. 0, 14. So 14 is here. 14 is there. Then the other one is 0.5, 16.5. 0.5, 16.5. So here you have 16. 16.5 is here. So 0.5, 16.5. 16.5 is here. Then 1, 12. 1, 12. So 10 is here. 11 is here. 12 is here. It's there. So 112 is here. Then the last one, 1.5, negative 2.5. 1.5, negative 1.5, negative 2.5. Negative 2.5 is here. Negative 2.5 is here. So now you have all the points. So you have all these points plotted. You need now to join the points using a smooth curve. So the only thing I can do when I look at these points, you can look at this point here. At this point, you can introduce another point, any point between negative 1.5 and negative 2. This one will make it easier for you to draw a smooth curve. Just introduce a point, and you can introduce negative 1.8. So negative 1.8, can introduce that one. So negative 1.8. And for this one, use a calculator to work out that. So when x is negative 1.8, it is easier to draw a curve, a smooth curve, when you introduce a point that is between negative 1.5 and negative 2. So negative 1.8, just use the function y is equals to 14 plus 10x minus 8x squared minus 4x cubed. And you notice that will give negative 6.6. So negative 1.8 is somewhere here. Negative 1.8 is here. Then 6.6. This is a 5. This is 6. 6.6 will be somewhere there. And there. So when you plot now, you can see now the curve will be smooth when you join these points. So let us join those points using a smooth curve. So that is the curve. So ensure that all these points are joined using a smooth curve like that. And that is the curve. So you've drawn the curve. The curve is there. Show that it's smooth. All the points are passing, or the curve is passing through all the plotted points. So we've done that. We use the scale, the right scale, and there you have the curve. Let's go now to the next part. So we've drawn the curve. Now this other question here. Use the graph to solve the equation 14 plus 10x minus 8x squared minus 4x cubed is equals to 0. So how do we solve that? Using the graph. Here is the graph that we've drawn. So this is what you do. Now take the function of the curve that you are drawing. Curve was y is equals to 14 plus 10x minus 8x squared minus 4x cubed. Now you need to solve these. So just equate these. So this is 0. This function now is equals to 14. This is what you're supposed to solve. Plus 10x minus 8x squared minus 4x cubed. When you equate them like that, you simply subtract the 2. Y subtracts 0 is y. And then you notice all these terms here will get subtracted. 14 minus 14, 0, 10x minus 10x, 0, negative 8x squared minus 8x squared, all these. So on this side, you get 0. So now, after you've done that, you need to draw this line. And which is this line? Y is equals to 0 You don't even need to draw this because it is the x-axis. So this is the equation of the x-axis. So to solve this, just go to the graph and identify the x-axis. So the x-axis is here. So get the solution, get the point at which that curve cuts the x-axis. The first one is here. This is the first one, and this is a negative 2.4. This is negative 2.4. So the first solution is x is negative 2.4. That is one. That is 1 point. Then the other one is here. This is a negative 1. So x is equals to negative 1. And then there is still another one. So there is this one. This is a 1 point. Remember, the size of one small square is 0.1. So this is 1.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So this is 0.4, 1.4. So these are the solutions. We go to the other part. By drawing a suitable line graph on the same grid, solve the equation. This is the equation that you're given. And to do that, again, you take the function of the curve. Y is equals to 14 plus 10x minus 8x squared minus 4x cubed. Then equate these terms here. So you have 4x squared, 4x cubed is here, but this is positive. This is positive 4x cubed, this one. Then this one is positive 8x squared, positive 8x squared. And then you have negative 5x, put it here, negative 5x. And then the constant is negative 4. Then equate that on to 0. So this is the equation. I've just reorganized it so that I can be able to compare the two. So to get that straight line, you just need to find out whether you're going to eliminate most of these terms. Are you going to add or subtract the two equations? When I look at these, if you want to eliminate most of the terms here, we are going to add. We add the two equations. So when you add y plus 0, you get y. Then 14 plus negative 4, you get what? 10. Then 10x plus negative 5x, you get positive 5x. This is 10 minus 5, it will be 5x. Then for these ones, negative 8x squared plus 8x squared will be 0. Negative 4x cubed plus 4x cubed, that will be 0. So this is the line that you remain with, and that is what you need to draw. So to draw that line, to draw a straight line, you require at least 2 points. So just find any 2 points. We'll start with 0. When x is 0, just substitute in this equation here. When x is 0, y will be 10. Then when y is 0, what will be the value of x? It will be negative 2. Just substitute that. Then when, look for another one. When x is negative 3, say negative 3, this will be 10 minus, this will be 15. 10 minus 15 to be negative 5. So now using these, you can draw that straight line, get the solution. So let me draw the straight line. So we have 0, 10, 0, 10. So 0, 10 is that point there. Then the other one is negative 2, 0. Negative 2, 0 is here. And we have another one. The last one is negative 3, negative 5. So negative 3, negative 5 is here. So negative 3, negative 5. So these are the points. This one, and this one. So join those points using a straight line. So that is the line. Y is equals to 10 plus 5x. How do you now get the solutions? How do you solve? Draw this straight line. We've drawn it and solve the equation. So how do you solve that? We simply solve that by checking the points of intersection of that line and the curve. One of the points is here. This is one of the points. So these are the points. So read the x coordinate of this point. Read the x coordinate. Like this point here. Just read the x coordinate. So the x coordinate of this point is here. So this is negative 2, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. So this is a 2.3. So that is the first point here. The x coordinate of this point of intersection of this straight line and the graph. This is negative 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 2.3. So the first one is x is equals to negative 2.3. Let's get the other one. The other point is here. The other point is here. Point of intersection. So this one is straight forward. You just read the x coordinate of that point. When you drop, this is a point of intersection, then the x coordinate is negative 0.5. So that one, negative 0.5. Negative 0.5. And then we have another one here. There's another one here. This is the other point of intersection. So drop down. So this is the point here, somewhere almost in the middle of these. So this is 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, around 0.85. Because I can see it is almost, no, not exactly on this line. Some point here, so 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, around 0.85. So that is 0.85. And that is how you're supposed to solve that question.
Simple.
Question 21. An express train operates between two towns. The train pulls X coaches on first class and Y coaches on economy class. Each first class coach can hold 72 passengers, while each economy class coach can hold 120 passengers. A. Write down the inequalities that express the following conditions for a trip made by the train where the 1. Total number of coaches used was less than 10. 2. Train was pulling at least one first class coach. 3. The number of economy class coaches was more than the number of first class coaches. Then 4. Total number of passengers exceeded 360. Let's go to the first one. Write down the inequality presenting total number, Roman 1. Total number of coaches used was less than 10. That means the coaches of the first class plus the coaches for the economy class should be less than 10. So that one is how we write it. The coaches for the first class presented by X plus the coaches for the economy class that now give the total number of coaches, and that one should be less than 10. That sum should be less than 10. So that is the first inequality. The second one, Roman 2, train was pulling at least one first class coach. So remember, the number of coaches for the first class is represented by X. So that one should be at least one. At least one means greater than or equal to 1. So therefore, the train was pulling at least one first class coach. We are going to write that one using this inequality. X should be greater than or equal to 1. That is the meaning of at least 1. greater than or equal to 1. Then 3, number of economy class coaches, which is represented by y, was more than means greater than, the number of first class coaches, which is represented by x. So that one, this is how we're going to write it. The number of economy class coaches, which is represented by y, more than means greater than the number of first class coaches, which is represented by x. So that is how we're supposed to write it. Then Roman 4, total number of passengers exceeded 360. Exceeding 360 means should be greater than 360. That is the meaning of exceeded, should be greater than 360. So how do you get the number of passengers? Now let's start with the total number of passengers for x coaches. So we have x coaches, then each, that is x coaches for the first class, and each first class coach can hold 72 passengers. So if there are x coaches and each coach can hold 72 passengers, total passengers will be x times 72. So that one represents the total number of passengers in the first class coach. What about economy class? The economy class, we have y coaches, and each coach can hold 120 passengers. So all the passengers in the economy class coach will be represented by y times 120. And that sum, now these are all the passengers, both for first class coaches and economy class coaches. That one should be greater than 360, should exceed, that is greater than 360. Simplify these, you get 72x plus 120y should be greater than 360. So you can simplify these by dividing everything by 24. You can see all the terms are divisible by 24. And when you do that, this is what you're going to get. So you'll get 3x plus 5y should be greater than 360 divided, this will be 15. So now we have all the inequalities. So the first one is here, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So after doing that, we proceed to the next part of the question. B, represent the inequalities in A on the grid provided. Now we represent these inequalities on that grid. So we have 4 inequalities, so we are supposed to draw 4 lines. So go to the first one, x plus y is less than 10. So x plus y is less than 10. So the line that you're going to draw here will be x plus y is equals to 10. That is the line. To draw this line, we need at least 2 points. 2 points will work. Don't need the third one, is just there for confirmation. So we plot this how we do it. We need to get when x, just be careful when you're picking your values, considering the values for the x axis. You can see the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 10, both for the x and the y axis. So the y-axis, you have number of economy class coaches. The x-axis, you have number of first class coaches. So when x is 0, y will be 10. And when y is 0, when you substitute y with 0 in this equation, you'll get 10 as well. If you take x, those 2 points are okay to draw a line, but you can still use the third one, confirmation of that line. So when x is 5, again, y will be 5. So that is enough to draw that line. We go to the second one. Now the second one is x is greater than or equal to 1. The x is greater than or equal to 1. For this one, the line that you are going to draw is x is equals to 1. And before we forget, this line, you can see less than, this line will be broken, meaning all the points that lie on that line cannot satisfy the inequality. But for this one, you can see greater than or equal to, the line will be continuous because all the points that will be lying on that line will satisfy the inequality. So we draw that line, x is equals to 1. That one don't need points, we just draw that line. Then we have the third one. The third one is y is greater than x. Y is greater than x. Y is greater than x. The line that you're going to draw here is y is equals to x. You know how to draw that, so you don't need points again to draw that, but you can just have the points if you wish to have them. You can take, for instance, is x, this is y. When x is 5, y will be 5, 10, 10, 3, 3. You can take any. When you substitute, that is what you get. The fourth one is 3x plus 5y. 3x plus 5y is greater than 15. This line will be, I forget, this line that is here, greater than, this line will be broken. Then this line, greater than again, this one will be broken. So we get the points. So you have x, y. So when x is 0, you substitute 0 in this equation. The line that you're going to draw is 3x plus 5y is equals to 15. So substitute x with 0, you get 3. So when y is 0, you get x as 5. So I don't see any other point that will give me a whole number. The others give decimals, but those 2 points are still okay. You can use those one to draw the line. Now that we have all the points, we go to the first inequality, x plus y is less than 10. We draw that line. So using the point 0, 10, we're plotting these 0, 10, 10, 0, and 5, 5. So go to the graph. We have 0, 10. 0, 10 is here, 0, 10 is here, then 5, 5, and 10, 0. So these are the points, 0, 10, 5, 5, 10, 0. Join, and don't forget that the line should be broken. That line should be broken. So you draw that line, broken line. So that is the line. So that is the line y, the first one. This is the x plus y is equals to 10. So that is the line. X plus y is equals to 10. We go to the other line. X is greater than or equal to 1. The line you're supposed to draw there is x is equals to 1. X is equals to 1 is the vertical line. That is the vertical line cutting across x is equals to 1. So x is equals to 1 is this line. Should be here. So this vertical line, this is the line. That is the line passing through 1. So that is a continuous line. Should be continuous. So that is the line. So the line x is equals to, is the line x is equals to 1. Continuous. The next one, y is greater than x. The line is y is equals to x. Y is equals to x. So y is equals to x is the line that passes through the center of the axis. Center of the axis. That is between, exactly between the x and the y axis. That is the line. So y is equals to x. We show you. So y is equals to x is this line seen exactly between the x and the y axis. Exactly between. Y is equals to x. You can take any points. If you can plot 5, 5, 10, 10, y is equals to x. So y is equivalent to the value of x. 3, 3, and so on. But you don't need to do that. Just know that y is equals to x is the line that passes exactly between the x and the y axis. What's that? And that line is supposed to be broken. So the line is supposed to be broken. So that is the line. That is the line y. Line y is equals to x. The next one, which is the last one, 3x plus 5y is greater than 15. So you're plotting this 0, 3. So let me plot this 0, 3 is here. And then we have 5, 0. Those two are enough. 5, 0 is here. So these are the points that you need to join. 0, 3 and 5, 0 in a straight line. So this is the line. That line should be broken. Should be broken. So that is the line. Now after doing that, now you have all the lines. So let me write the equation of this line. 3x plus 5y. So this is 3x plus 5y is equals to 15. Is equals to 15. So now we have all the lines. We have this line, x is equals to 1. We have this line, the 4 lines are there. The next step is to shade the unwanted sides in order to remain with the required region or the feasible region. We're going to start with the first line, which is x plus y. X plus y is less than 10. So this is the line. So we need to know whether we're required to shade on the upper side or the lower side of that line. So how do we do that? This is how we do it. So consider that line, x plus y is less than 10. Pick any point either above that line or below that line. So I'll pick point that is below that line. So on this side, so our line is here, x plus y is equals to 10. So I'm picking, you can pick either a point on this side or the other side. So pick a point on this side. The easiest one to pick is 0, 0, 0, 0. So let me pick 0, 0. Then substitute the value of x. X is 0, y is 0. Substitute that in that inequality and see whether it satisfies. So x 0, y 0. So therefore, when you substitute, you get 0 is less than 10. And this is true. 0 is less than 10. So that side where we've picked that point satisfies the inequality. So automatically, the other side is the one that is going not going to satisfy that inequality. Can't have two sides satisfying the inequality. So we are going to shade on the upper side of that line. Why? Because the point that you have picked on the other side of that line has satisfied the inequality. And remember, we shade the unwanted sides. So that is the unwanted side. Let's go to the other line. Line number 2, x is greater than or equal to 1. X is greater than or equal to 1 is this line. Greater than 1 lies on this side. So that means this side is the one that is going to satisfy that inequality. Any point that we pick on this side is x is greater than or equal to 1. Any point that we're going to pick, for example, if I pick, let's say a point that is here, like 7, 0, like 7, 0, raised to 7, 0. X is 0, y is 0. So x 7, y is 0. So you can see it is satisfied. 7 is greater than or equal to 1. So that side, the right-hand side of that line is going to satisfy. X is greater than or equal to 1. So automatically, the left-hand side is the unwanted side. So we shade the left side of that line. So let's go to the other line. And the other line is y is greater than x. Y is greater than x. So this is the line. Y is greater than x. So we need to know whether we're going to shade on this side, or this side or this side. So let me pick a point that is on this side. For example, I'll pick 5, 2. Point on this side, 5, 2. Let us test. So the equation is y is greater than x. So let me pick 5, 2. And x is 5, y is 2. Substitute. Y is 2. And then x is 5. So that one is not satisfying. 2 is not greater than. So this is not true. And we shade the unwanted side, the side that is not going to satisfy the inequality. So since I've picked that point here on this side of the line, that is 5, 2, and it has failed to satisfy the inequality when I substituted here, as you can see, then we shade that side, that is the unwanted side. So we shade that. So let me shade these. We shade the unwanted side like that. You need to shade everything here to avoid confusion. So everything there, the whole that side should be shaded. Now, after doing that, we are remaining with the last line, which is 3x plus 5y. 3x plus 5y is greater than 15. So again, so this is the line. This is the line. So we want to establish whether this side or this side will satisfy. So let me pick a point on this side. That is 0, 0. I'll pick 0, 0. So 0, 0, like that. So x is 0, y is 0. Substitute it here. X is 0, this will be 0, and this one will be 0. Is greater than 15. So 0 is not greater than 15. So that side does not satisfy, and therefore it is the unwanted side, and it is the one that you're going to shade. So we shade this side of that line. That is the side that you're going to shade. Now, after doing that, you can see we are remaining with unshaded region. This is the unshaded region here. This is the unshaded region, and that is called the required or the feasible region. That is how we do it. Let's go to the other part of the question now. Part C. The coaches for the trip were all fully booked. Each first class ticket cost 3,000, while each economy class ticket cost 1,000. Determine the maximum possible amount realized from the sale of the tickets for the trip. So this process of determining the profit, maximum or minimum, is called optimization. And to carry out optimization, we require to have the objective function. Where do we get the objective function? From the information given. The coaches, each first class ticket cost 3,000 shillings. So remember, the number of coaches for first class was represented by X, okay? And then each first class coach was carrying how many passengers? Go back there. Each was carrying, from the first part of the question, it was carrying 72 passengers. Then economy class was carrying 120 passengers. So what you're going to do here, in order to optimize this is what you're going to do to get the profit. The objective function is what you're getting right now. So we have X number of coaches for the first class, and each coach carries 72 passengers, and each passenger, that is for each ticket, pays 3,000 shillings. So that represents the amount of money obtained by the coaches for the first class. That is 3,000. This is 3,000. Plus, for the economy class, we have Y number of coaches. Each coach carries 120 passengers. Each passenger pays 1,000. So now that represents the total amount realized for all the coaches, first class and the economy. So this is what we call the objective function. So this represents P, or the profit, or the amount realized for the sale of the ticket. So when you multiply these out, X times 72 times 3,000, this will give 216,000 X, plus this will give 120,000 Y. This is equal to the amount. So P represents the amount realized for the sale of all the tickets. So after doing that, now we have the objective function. This is what you're going to use to get the amount, the maximum possible or the minimum possible amount. And where do we get that amount? We get that amount from the required region. This region that we have obtained here, the unshaded region, this is where we are going to get the number of economy coaches and the number of first class coaches that are going to give us minimum or maximum profit, or the amount. So the method that you're going to use, you can use several methods. You can use the search line or the inspection method. I will use the inspection method. For the inspection method, you inspect the corner points of the feasible region, the corner points. But in this case, when you look at all the corner points of the feasible region or the required region, they are all lying on broken lines. And therefore, all those points will not satisfy all these inequality. We cannot assume that the corner points are going to give us the correct number of economy class coaches and number of first class coaches, because they are all lying on the broken lines. And all the points that lie on the broken lines will not satisfy them inequality. So therefore, we need to get other points here inside. And since the number of coaches, both for the first class and economy, can't be a fraction or decimals, have to be whole numbers, you're going to use these corners here. Must be whole numbers. So let us inspect. You're going to inspect everything. So let me write down the objective function here. So it is 216,000 X plus 120,000 Y, 120,000 Y. So the first point I'm going to inspect is 23. Let me inspect this one first. 23. So when you substitute this one, get 216,000, then X is 2 plus 120,000, Y is 3. So this one is going to give, so this one will give 792,000. The next one we need to inspect is 45. 45 is this point here. Inspect that, 45. So for 45, we have 216,000. X is 4 plus 120,000. Y is 5. So this one will give 1,464,000. Okay. The next one you need to inspect is 1313. We can pick along this straight line here. We don't need to pick all the points. You can pick the lower one here and the upper one. That will be enough. Don't need to inspect all of them. Just pick the one that is below here on this line and then another one that is there. So I'll pick 1, 3 here. So substitute these in the objective function, 216,001 plus 120,003. And this one will give 576,000. So pick the one on the upper side, which is 18. You can pick this one, 18. So 18. So 216,001 plus 120,008. So this one will give 1,176,000. We can still pick let me see, 2, 3. We can still pick along this line here. Along this line here, we can pick let's say 2, 6. We can, because we've picked 2, 3. Can pick one on the, or 2, 7. Can pick 2, 7. We're picking one on the lower side, 2, 3. Let's pick 2, 7. And see, so 2, 7, we have 216,000. This is 2 plus 120,000, 7. Let's see the amount here. That is going to give 1,272,000. So we can pick a point here, 3, 4, 3, 4, and 3, 6. 3, 4, and 3, 6. So 3, 4, so 216,000. So 3 plus 120,000, 4. And then we can also pick, that is 3, 4. We picked 3, 4. Can pick the upper side, 3, 6. So we'll give an answer for that, 3, 6. So this one will give 216,000, 3 plus 120,000, 6. So let's work out 3, 4. For 3, 4, you'll have as 120,000. So that will give 1 million. So this will give 1,128,000. And then for 3, 6, plus 120,000, this is a 6. This is going to give 1,368,000. Now, all these points are enough now. We need now to consider for the first one, we got 782. This one we got these. So we have 576. We have 1,176. We have these. We have these. So for all these amounts, we require to get the one that will give the maximum possible amount. So which one is giving the biggest or the highest amount? The one giving the highest amount among all these is the one that is here, this one, 1,464,000. This one, and that is 45. 45. 4 mean number of first class coaches, 4. Number of economy class coaches, 5. So that is the one that is giving. So you're supposed to determine the maximum possible amount realized, and that is what you should do. So you simply take 216,000, then 4 plus 120,000, 5, and this is giving 1,464,000. That is how you get the maximum amount. That one is given by 4, 5. Question 22. In this question, use a ruler and a pair of compasses only. The following figure is drawn to scale. It shows sides AB and AD of a trapezium ABCD, in which AB and DC are parallel. Angle DAB is equals to 40. It is there. And vertex C is not shown. So there we have the figure. Let's go to the first question. Part A. On the figure, construct Roman 1, the locus P of points equidistant from sides AB and AD. Locus P of point equidistant from side AB and AD. Which type locus is that? That is a locus that is equidistant from two given sides. The sides are AB and AD. And that is what we call the angle bisector loci. So to get locus P, we simply bisect the angle between sides AB and AD. So you know how to bisect an angle. So you simply stand here. A pair of compass. Then mark an arc there and another arc there. Then stand on this arc. Then mark an arc there with the same radius without changing it. Stand on this point. Then cut that arc. So from there, join A to the point of intersection. The two arcs. Like that. So this is now the locus P. So that is the locus P. So you're done with that part. So you go to the second part. The locus Q of points equidistant from points A and B. So again, we need to know which type of a locus is this. This is a locus that is equidistant from two fixed points. Locus of points equidistant from two fixed points. The two fixed points are A and B. So you have A and B here. So how do we construct that locus? By simply bisecting the line that is joining the 2 points. This line AB. So when you bisect line AB, that perpendicular bisector will be the locus Q. So we bisect that. This is how we do it. Stand at A, you're bisecting or drawing a perpendicular bisector of AB. So stand there, open it more than half of that line, and then an arc there, another arc below, then the same radius without changing it. Stand at B, then cut the arcs, then join points of intersection of the two arcs. That is the locus Q. So here we have the locus Q and the locus P is here. The next part 3, the locus R of points such that OARB is equal to 70 degrees. So that is what we call the constant angle loci. And to explain that, let me use an illustration here. That is, those are points AB. You need to construct the locus R such that angle ARB is equal to 70 degrees. How do you get that? By simply making an arc like that, and all points on this arc, this will be locus R. How do you ensure that any angle made on this arc from point A, this arc to B, will be 70 degrees? You need to have a center. You need to construct the center there. And if the angle made by chord AB on this circumference here, For it to be 70 degrees, you need this one to be 140. Why? You're using the property, the angle subtended at the center by a chord. So the chord here is AB. So any angle subtended at the center by this chord here, the angle will be formed, the angle formed at the circumference here should be half of that angle. Or in other words, the angle formed at the center here by this chord should be twice the angle subtended the circumference. This is what I mean. Any angle that I will make this will be 70. Any angle that I can make this angle should be 70. So all these, any angle that you're going to make from A to the circumference to B, that angle is subtended at the center here by this chord AB. That is a property that you use to get this loci. It is called the constant angle loci. The angle subtended at the center by chord AB will be twice the angle subtended at the circumference by the same chord. So this is the property. So we need to have 140 at the center. So this one will be 20 degrees because this will be an equilateral triangle, an isosceles. This will be an isosceles triangle. So this will be 20 degrees, 20, 20, and so on. And already have this 20 degrees is given because you have bisected. So we need to have something like this. So from the diagram, we go to the diagram here. We already have this angle because we bisected. We have this one as 20. And having these perpendicular bisector, look at where these are bisector. The angle bisector meets with the perpendicular bisector loci. These will be the center. So these here, this point will be the center. This is what you're going to use. Because even if you construct, you take this distance here from A to the center there, then you transfer this on there, you notice it is touching at B. You can see that. So even if you join these, so when you join that, you will have this one as 20 degrees and this one will be 140 degrees. So the center has just come automatically. It is located at the point of intersection of these angle bisector loci and the perpendicular bisector of AB, that is the center. So with that center, this center here, with that center, simply open it till you reach this point A. And then you draw an arc. So draw an arc. So draw an arc like that. And these now, these will be locus R. So any angle that you're going to form from point A to any point of this circumference here, from A to any point of this circumference to B will be 70 degrees. So that is the locus R. You're done with that. The next one is part B. Go to part B. Vertex C is such that angle ACB is equal to 70 degrees. Locate vertex C and hence complete the trapezium ABCD. So remember we have the trapezium from the first part, and in this trapezium, already given that trapezium has two sides that are parallel to each other, AB and DC. should be parallel. So when you look at whatever we have here, AB and DC, so C should be somewhere here. This one should be parallel. This one should be parallel to another line that is here. But how do we locate that point? If we have a line that is parallel, DC here and here, then this line AD will act like a transversal. It will act like a transversal. And I'm going to explain that one further here. So we have A, B, then this is where we have point D. So that line that you're required to draw, supposed to draw it somewhere there, and this one, let's say C is somewhere there. It's a sketch to help us understand. So this one, this line is parallel to this. So because these are two lines that are parallel and this angle is 40 degrees, then to obtain where we shall have C, we need to know how we're going to draw this straight line. And we're going to do that by copying this angle. If we copy this angle is equivalent to this angle. Angles on a transversal. This angle corresponds to this angle. So on this diagram, we simply need to copy this angle 40 degrees, then need to extend line. Need to extend that line. Need to extend it, line AD, like that. And then we copy this angle DAB. We copy that angle. This is just one of the ways to draw that line. DAB, which is 40, we copy it at D. So this is how we copy it. So I will stand at A, and then I will draw. Simply draw an arc. We draw that arc like that. So standing at D, I will draw same arc with the same radius without changing it. With the same radius, just check what I'm doing. So standing at A, mark an arc there. Then at D, you're copying that angle at D like that. Then you need to copy this one. Copy now this angle here. Copy it like this. Like that. So let me show you properly. So copy it like that. Or maybe you can place it like this. So copy that angle like that. Then stand at this point and cut that arc like that. So I've copied this angle like that. That is the size. Then transfer this point where you made an arc and cut that arc. Look at the point of intersection now of those two arcs. Now you need to join these. Need to draw a line that is connecting. Look at the D and the point of intersection. D and the point of intersection of those arcs. Like that. So draw a line that is passing through D. I think I need to draw that one properly. So let me draw the line properly. It's supposed to pass through D, the point of intersection of those arcs, like that. So the line is passing through here. So this is point D, the point of intersection of arcs. So this angle here is 40 degrees. And this angle is 40 degrees. So this line is parallel to this line. These are angles. This is the angle that has helped us to do that. So now you need to locate C, and C is located on this arc. This point, look at this point of intersection of locus of R and this line that you've drawn here. Look at this. Just look at it. This point here. This will be C. So C will be located here. So just join that point using a straight line like that. So point C is here, vertex C is here. The point of intersection of locus of R, this line. So we have located that. So now we have the complete trapezium A, B, C, and D. The next question is calculate the area of trapezium ABCD. Now we need to get the area of this trapezium ABCD. How do you get the area of a trapezium? Area is given by half multiplied by the sum of the two parallel sides times the height. We have these two sides that are parallel, DC and AB. Those are the sides. So we can call this side A and this one side B. Then we need to get the height. Now we don't have the height. The height will be given from this vertex here, D, perpendicular line from D to AB. So to get the height, let us draw or drop a perpendicular line from D. Drop perpendicular bisector line from D to AB. So to do that, so stand at D, then let me mark big arc here. So mark an arc there and mark another arc there. So standing at D, mark an arc there on that line AB. Then stand, you have to extend these. Stand at that point that you've marked there. So any radius now, use any radius. Then mark an arc there. Then on the other arc here, then cut that arc. Then we join. So from point D to this point here, from D so this is perpendicular. So that is how we drop a perpendicular from D to AB. So we've just stood here, made this arc here and this arc, then stand on this point of this arc here. We've made this arc, then stand on this point here, that arc. So draw a line, straight line from D to the point of intersection of these arcs. So now this is the perpendicular height. So you need to measure that. So that when you're getting the area, we shall have half. So we need to measure line AB. We need also to measure DC. Then we need to get the height. So let's start with AB. Measure AB. So AB is that is 8.7. AB is 8.7. Gonna confirm these again. That is 8.7. Then DC. DC is 3.123. that is 3.1 to 3.2. Consider is 3.2. And height, the perpendicular height, is 4.2. 4.2. Now with these now, you can get the answer. So area is equals to half multiplied by the sum of the two sides. AB was 8.7 plus the other side DC 3.2, then times the height, which is 4.2. So this will give half multiplied by 8.7 plus 3.2. That gives 11.9. Then times 4.2. And when you work out this, everything, just take 11.9 times 4.2. Then we divide by 2. This will give 24.99. 24.99 centimeters squared. So that is how you're supposed to solve that question. Question 23. The following figure is a sketch of a curve whose equation is y is equals to 3x squared minus 9x. The curve cuts the x-axis at O, 0, 0, and at R, 3, 0. The curve cuts the line y is equals to 12 at P and Q. The coordinates of Q is 4, 12. Line RN is perpendicular to PQ at N. So all that information is shown on that figure. Let's go to part A of the question. Calculate 1, the area of the shaded region that lies below the x-axis. The area of the shaded region that lies below the x-axis. So let's identify that area. So the required area is here, the one that I'm shading here. So this is the required area. So to get the area of that region, we are going to integrate using the function of that curve. So we're going to integrate, and the limits are from, we have 0 to 3. So this 0, this 3. So we integrate from 0 to 3. The function of that curve is 3x squared minus 9x, and you do this with respect to x. So when we carry out this integration from 0 to 3, we are going to get the area of the shaded region that is below the x-axis. So let us integrate this. So 3x squared, when you integrate this, you get 3x cubed divided by 3 minus, when you integrate 9x, you get 9x squared divided by 2. Then you have to add the constant of integration, 0, 3. Those are the limits. So from here, you can simplify 3x cubed divided by 3. That will give x cubed. Then this will give 9 divided by 2. You can write that one as 4.5. Still x squared plus c. Then the limits 0 to 3. So from here now, we start by substituting 3. Where we have x, substitute that with 3. So we have 3 cubed minus 4.5. Then x is 3. This will be 3 squared plus c. Then substitute x with 0. So this will be 0 cubed minus 4.5, 0 squared plus c. That's from here, 3 cubed will give you 27 minus 4.5 times 3 squared. That will give 40.5 plus c. Then you subtract. This will be 0, 0. This will be c. So you have 27 subtract 40.5 plus c minus c. C will get eliminated. And this one will give negative 13.5 square units. That is the area. And since when you're giving the area, you have to give the absolute value. The negative is there to imply that the area is located below the x-axis. So ignore the negative. You can as well, you can write this one as 13.5 or 13.5 square units. So ignore the negative. So that is how you're supposed to solve the first part. Second part, the area of the shaded region that lies to the right of line R. The area of the shaded region that lies to the right of this line Rn. So identify that area, and that area is the one that we have here. This is the area. This is the area that lies to the right of line Rn. So when you look at that area, you can see that it is possible to get that area if we draw another straight line. If we draw another straight line from that line there, and since the coordinates of Q are 4, 12, so this point here, the x-coordinate of this point, the x-coordinate of this point here will be 4. This will be 4. And this shape that has been formed here, you can see there is a rectangle measuring, so from 3 to 4, this is 1. The measurement of this rectangle here, from 3 to 4, this one is 1 unit. Then upwards, from 0 to 12, so those are 12 units. So you will get the shaded area by getting the area of that rectangle, which measures 1 by 12. Then you subtract the area that is under the curve from 3 to 4, under that curve. And the area under the curve, let me shade it. The area under the curve is this area that is here, that area. That is what you're going to subtract. So we shall get the area of that shaded region, and this is the required region. Don't forget that. So this is what we are required to get. This is the required area, and this one should be obtained by getting the area of the rectangle, measuring 1 by 12, subtract the area under the curve. This is the area under the curve. So we get the area of the rectangle. So area of the rectangle, then subtract area under the curve, and you need to be careful. Area under the curve from 3 to 4. 3 to 4. From 3 to 4. Those are the limits that you're going to use. Be very careful with that. So area of the rectangle is 1 times 12. So this will give 12 square units. So now we need to get the area under the curve between 3 and 4. And to do that, we're going to integrate function of that curve. So we integrate from 3 to 4. So we're integrating 3x squared minus 9x with respect to x. And since we had already done this, when you integrated that, we got x cubed minus 4.5 x squared plus c. Then the limits are 3 to 4. So from there, we need to substitute 4. So this is what we're going to have. We shall have 4 cubed minus 4.5 4 squared plus c. Then substitute 3 where we have x. So you have 3 cubed minus 4.5 3 squared plus c, like that. So you work out 4 cubed minus 4.5 multiplied by 4 squared. That will give negative 8 plus c. That is what we're going to get there. Then 3 cubed minus 4.5 multiplied by 3 squared plus c. That will give 13.5 plus c. This will give negative 8 plus c minus 13. Let me do it here. Let me do it up here. This will give negative 8 plus c minus 13.5 minus c. And these will give negative. So for 3 squared minus 4.5 multiplied by 3 squared plus c, that one will give negative 13.5 plus c, like that. And when you work out these, you will get negative 8 plus c minus these will give negative. These will give positive. When you open the brackets, you get 13.5 minus c. C will get eliminated. You get negative 8 plus 13.5, and these will give 5.5 square unit. So now we have the area of the rectangle. The area of the rectangle, which is 12, and then the area under the curve. The area under the curve between 3 and 4. So this is the area. Let me indicate this. So the area of that part is what we have identified as 5.5. So that is 5.5. Then the area of the entire rectangle is 12. So we just need to do the subtraction. So the area required, that is to the right of the shaded area, to the right of line Rn, therefore given by the area of the rectangle, which is 12. Subtract the area under the curve from 3 to 5, which is 5.5. And this will give 6.5 or 6.5 square units. This is how we're supposed to do it. Part B, hence calculate the total area of the shaded region. The total area of the shaded region. So you can see the shaded region. We have this is a rectangle measuring from 0 to 3. This is 3. Then the length is 12. So that is 1 you're going to get. Then already we have these, the area of these, which is, we got that one in the first part, which is 13.5. So this was 13.5. And then we have this one to the right of the area, to the right of Rn. We've just got that in the previous part, which is 5.5. So this is a 5.5. So the only one that you need to calculate is the rectangle, this one, 3 times 12. Which will give 36. This will give 36. So the total area of the shaded region will be 36 square units, that rectangle. So 36 square units. So which is 3 times 12, that is 36, plus the area below, shaded area below the x-axis, which is 13.5, plus the area to the right of line Rn, which is 5.5. Now that will give the total shaded area. When you work out these, you'll get 56 square units. You get 56 square units. Question 24. In the following figure, OABC is a trapezium. OA is parallel to CB and OA is equals to 3CB. M is the midpoint of AB. Part A, the question, given that OA is equals to 3A and OC is equals to C, express in terms of A and C, 1, AC. So study the diagram, supposed to get AC. So AC will be given by from A to O, then from O to C. That is how we get AC, from A to O plus O to C. AO, you're moving in the opposite direction of the arrow from A to O, so that will be negative 3A plus OC AC, or you can write it like C minus 3A. That is the first part. Part 2, AB. AB. So you want to move from A to B. So A to B, you'll move from A, the easier route, from A to C. So you move from A to C. Then from C to B. AC, we already found that in part 1. So AC is C minus 3A. Then CB, don't have CB, but you can get it from here. OA is equals to 3CB, and OA is 3A is equals to 3CB. So therefore, CB will be A. You divide both sides by 3, so this one will be A. So CB is A. So work out these. This will give C minus 3A plus minus 3A plus A will give minus 2A. Part 3, OM. OM. So you want to move from O to M. The easier route will be to move from O to A. O to A. Then from A to M. from A to M. OA is given as 3A. AM, remember we given that M is the midpoint of AB. So if that is the midpoint, then it divides AB in the ratio 1:1. So therefore, AM is a half AB. This will be a half AB. So therefore, we have 3A plus a half. AB is already here in part 2 as C minus 2A. So this will give 3A plus a half C in the brackets minus a half times 2A will give A, like that. So when you work out these, you'll get 3A, a half, 3A, I'm sorry. When you work out that, you'll get 3A minus A, you'll get 2A plus a half C. So that is how you get OM. Let's go to part B. For part B, lines AC and OM intersect at X. As you can see there, such that OX is equals to HOM and AX is equals to Kcse, where H and K are scalars. Determine the values of H and K. So in order to get the values of H and K, must come with two simultaneous equations, and in those simultaneous equations you're going to involve these vectors, one equation to have OX and the other equation to have AX. Have two equations. So let's get the first equation. Before we do that, we need to know what we are going to express in two ways. Looking at these vectors given OX and AX, we can use those two vectors to express one vector in two different ways. And the vector that we can express in two different ways using these vectors given here, OX and AX, is OX. So you have to express OX in two ways. And the first way, you're going to use whatever we have there. OX is equals to H OM. That is the first way. Then the second way of expressing OX and ensuring that you use AX, just look at the diagram here. So you can use that root OA plus AX to ensure that you use AX. Use that root. So OA, if you want to get to express OX and at the same time use AX, you're going to say OX is equals to from O to A, then from A to X. So you can see I've used AX. So these are the two vectors that you need, and this one will give you two equations that you're going to solve simultaneously. So the first one, OX is equals to HOM. We already obtained OM in part 3 above, which is here, 2A plus half C. And this will give, when you open the brackets, 2 HA plus half HC. That is the first equation, the first expression of OX. The second one is here, OX is equals to OA, and OA is given as 3A. Plus AX. AX is here given by Kcse. You're given that in the statement Kcse. Kcse. Now we have AC. We have AC in A part 1. A part 1 is here. C minus 3A. C minus 3A. In the brackets, you get 3A plus Kc minus 3Ka. Like that. Now you have two expressions of OX. The two expressions are showing the same thing. So, if they are both expressing OX, you can equate them. So, equate the two of them. So, you have the first one, which is 2HA plus half HC. That is OX, which is equivalent to the other OX, which is 3A plus Kc minus 3Ka. So this is OX and this one is OX. So from there, pick the terms having vector A and equate them. So this one, and this one. Pick them. So 2HA is equivalent to 3A, they're having vector A, minus 3Ka. Like that. Then from there, something is common in all these terms. A is common. Divide every term by A. Here you shall have 2H. Here you shall have 3. And here you shall have 3K. So keep that equation aside. Then the other thing you're going to do, pick the terms with vector C. Vector C. So you have half HC is equals to Kc. Divide each term by C, you'll get half H is equals to K. And when you multiply both sides to get rid of this denominator 2, multiply each side by 2, you'll get H is equals to 2K. That is another equation. So having that, those two equations, you have this equation and you have this. You can solve that simultaneously or use substitution. So I want you to have a look at this. What we have here. 2H. But what is H? H is 2K. So substitute H with 2K. Like that. Is equals to 3 minus 3K. So this will give 4K is equals to 3 minus 3K. And this one will give, bring the like terms together. You'll have 7K is equals to 3. And here, K is equals to 3 over 7. Then, remember what was H. H is equals to 2K. So H is equals to 2. K is 3 over 7. So just substitute and H will give 6 over 7. So you have already found the values of H and K.